being alert may not only save you on a job site, but it may also change your whole career path. You're listening to the Surging Forward Podcast, episode number 82. Hello, and welcome to the Surging Forward broadcast, where we're helping you to have a positive view in a negative world. My name is David Valentine, and I'm here to help you see the value in the job you do and how you can keep surging forward. Hello again, and welcome to the Surging Forward Podcast. This is Dave, your host, and I want to say thanks for taking another week to tune in. Another great week, a lot of exciting things going on this week, and I'm glad that you're tuning in, as while you're listening to this, I am probably in California at the apprenticeship competition. What an awesome thing. I always enjoy that. You see people from all the different trades all across the United States, and this year it happens to be in Long Beach, California. So, kind of an exciting time. I'm really looking forward to that. I always enjoy going to that because some of these young people, they do not even realize that they probably inspire me, and it gives me the inspiration to be able to pass along to even my audience out here. So, again, I'm really looking forward to that. Exciting times. If this is your first time listening, you're listening to the Surging Forward podcast. What does that actually mean? Well, we're here to provide a positive view in a negative world. You know, so many times we get beat up in this old crazy world, and it just gets downright tough. You just feel like you don't know which road to take, or, you go on Facebook sometimes, and it just seems like some people are just like vultures waiting for somebody to say the wrong thing, and they just pounce on them. Words that are thrown around in such a negative way. It's amazing. Um, I've always been of that adage, people that point the finger at the other people, take a look back. You got at least three more pointing back at you. None of us are perfect out there, my friends. So be careful of the beat 'em up attitude, so that you can feel better by tearing somebody else down. That's really not what it's about. All of us get down at different points in our life. So that's what this podcast is about. It's about lifting you up and creating value from wherever you happen to be in your life. So I talk mostly to tradesmen because that is what I am, but it makes a difference no matter what career you're in. The principles we talk about here about having a successful career can be applied throughout. I read a lot of books. John Maxwell, of course, he's my favorite. If you're really looking for a great book to read, those of you that still do read books, the 360 Leadership, that is a fantastic book from John Maxwell. I don't know, the reason I say that, I just had it on my mind. I was talking to one of my students, and I just referred that to him also. And, that's one of the many books that I have on my shelf that I'm constantly referring back to. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 3 steps for success. Now, I want to share a couple things. Excuse me, I'm kind of a little dry-throated today, so I apologize. But I wanted to talk today and bring some of you up to date, for those of you in construction. We had something very serious happen. I usually don't time state my podcast, so if you're listening to this months from when this episode came out, you may have to go back and look it up. But I've been on the job sites for a lot of years now, and one of the things that is very deep and dear to me is safety. Yeah, the boring shop talks that we have every Monday morning where guys are halfway falling asleep about, oh, how do you use a ladder, da. And nobody takes it seriously. Well, my friends, I've been on the job sites for, I used to say over 20 years, but now I have to say over 30 years. Um, and it's growing. So those of you that've been on the job sites as long as I have, you've seen some stuff. Safety is one of those things that is very, very important. I mean, my goodness, even in the office situation, you have things of safety now. People falling or tripping or, things happen. Safety is something that nobody wants to talk about. They think it's a joke, but it's one of the most serious things that we can discuss and have an understanding on. So I thought it would be really neat to turn it around and bring safety and talk about the same safety things on a job site and yet have the same points, how they can apply to success in your career. You see, my friends, if you understand these 3 points, not only will you be safe on the job site, does it mean anything's not ever going to happen to you? Absolutely not. Things happen. But if you apply these 3 points, it's going to help you to be safe and it can help you be successful in your career. So that's what we're going to be talking about, the 3 steps for a success. This is episode number 82 of the podcast. Wow, that's pretty wild. 82. So that means I have been putting these podcasts out for 82 weeks. So that's over a year and a half now, I believe, if I do my math right. It's been an exciting ride. I really appreciate the emails. It's kind of a different format. Most people, I keep looking for the comments on my website. And those of you that want to comment on the website at surgingforwardpodcast.com, hey, I would love the comments because that's what helps it go out. And Google, I'm learning about SEO and Google and all this craziness. And the more comments I get on there and the more interaction I can get on the website and also on my Facebook page, that's what helps it get out. But most of the comments I get are from a lot of you who are trying to make a difference in the trade or your career, and you don't want to put your name out there, which I understand. So I get flooded with emails with questions all the time. And so I always try to answer your questions back. My friends, I don't have all the answers, but I will do the best I can to guide you where you can possibly find the answer or even just give you that little bit of advice based on where I've been or some of the people I've talked to over the years. That's what it's about, helping each other to keep surging forward. So if you feel so inclined, go ahead and leave a review on the website, on the Facebook page. Share the stuff on Facebook. Again, that helps us look good. I mean, the word has gotten out crazy. I am shocked at the downloads we're at. We're getting very close to that 10,000 download mark. So I want to say thanks for that. But so I just wanted to put that out there. The email address, if you do prefer to email me, is simply dave@surgingforward.com. If you're looking for us on Facebook, just search Surging Forward, and you'll find me right there. And also, too, if you want to tag me as a friend, just look me up, Dave Ballantyne. You'll see me hold my book up that I was a co-author of, Time to Fly. If you'd like a copy of that book, that's a daily inspiration book that you can have, and that's available on the website at www.surgingforward.com, which is where we also offer all your code update courses, construction if you want to start your own business, and all of that fun stuff. But anyhow, let me get on with the episode here. I'm really excited about this one. I was very, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about this week, and I was writing some things down. But very devastating thing happened down in Florida last week. And anytime I hear things that are on the news about construction, it hits me home. It's just devastating. My heart and prayers go out to the families of the construction crews, the engineers, the inspectors, and those that were killed underneath that bridge that fell. down there in Florida. And I just, words just cannot say it. Now, I guess the reason words cannot say it is because, you know, some of us has been in the field for a long time. We've seen some devastating things that happen on a job site. A lot of our accidents that happen, they don't necessarily get on the news. They may have killed one, two, maybe three people, but they didn't get headline news like this one did. Because a lot of times it doesn't happen to the public. It happens to someone on your crew or in the field. And it's a real life. And that's where my heart really goes out, because being in the trades and doing something of that caliber, setting that bridge, that takes a lot of skill. Tradesmen and stuff like that now, they're put down. And when I'm talking tradesmen, remember, I'm talking tradeswomen also. For those of you out there that are listening, they're women. I just had that great interview with Ashley last week. What a great interview, and I want to thank her again for taking the time to share her story about how she got in construction. So, but this is a very skilled job. It's not a joke. And if you're in this trade and you think it's all fun and games, or you think that you really don't want to be here, well, I would really advise you to leave, because you're going to hurt somebody. And, safety is a big thing in the trades. And so many people take it as a joke until something bad happens. You see, I've been in construction for many years now, and I've attended many a safety talk. So today I want to address some very important points about how understanding how to stay safe and alert on the job can also help you find that opportunity that can bring success in your career. Now let's think about this. I have 3 points here that I want to talk about before we end this podcast, and without getting too long-winded. But they're very 3 key points that I want you to remember. And it ties in with safety, but it also has to do with the success in your actual career. So I'm going to bring both of these together. So if you can do this, this is what has helped me to be successful in my career and also in my life and in things that I do. Yeah, the safety talks that we all ignore. So maybe next time you'll listen to the safety talk and say, how can this apply to my actual life? So let's look at point number 1, being alert. You see, being alert on a job site is very critical, as there's a lot of moving parts to a large or even a small construction site. You have to always be on alert on the site, because things can change without warning at any time. So you have to be able to react quickly in order to avoid being possibly hurt or even seriously injured. Because, things tip over, things fall down. I had a close call this past week where a form came down and almost hit me. And it was kind of ironic, and I still, at the time, I wasn't even thinking about doing the podcast on this, but we were actually just talking about the incident down in Florida when all of a sudden the form let loose, and, I didn't see it coming. It was behind me, but I'm alert at to what the person in front of me is doing, and I followed his eyes, so I moved the opposite way that his eyes went. If I'd have moved towards it, or if I'd have looked behind me, I would have gotten hurt. So always being alert on a job site. You never know when things are changed. You always have to understand the surroundings and what's going on, and be ready to react at any time. Now, this same point also applies in life, is one must always be on alert and be aware of the surrounding of what's going on in your own life. You see, you want to be in tune to the things that others may say in regards to opportunities that may be waiting for you out there. Because if you listen to what other people are looking for sometimes, they may be looking for your skills. You may even be in the right place at the right time, and you could get that job opportunity that you've been waiting for. But if you're not alert and you're not paying attention to it, you're going to miss it. You may also see the writing on the wall and realize it may be time for you to move on, and that things may not be going well where you're at. So if you don't heed it, and if you don't realize those things and you don't listen to those um, little messages or things that are going on, or you're not alert to what's going around you, that can have serious consequences on your career to a point where it may be very hard to recover. Or if you're not careful, worst yet, you might miss a once in a lifetime or a dream job that can be lost forever just because you weren't paying attention. So being alert is very important for your whole life in general. Just don't walk around looking down on the ground. I see so many people walking on job sites looking at the ground. Look around. Look with your head up high. Pay attention to what's around you. Be willing to say, hey, how you doing to somebody? But I see so many people. Look around the job site tomorrow and look around and see how many people walk with their face looking down on the ground. It's amazing. I wonder how they don't bump into stuff. Um, so, okay, so point number one, being alert. Point number two, understanding the risks. Each day before you step out on a job site or when you go to work in an area, you need to take a minute and think about the risks that may be around that area or may be present for the work of that day. You see, understanding the risks that are involved with your work, that's going to also help you to be able to avoid many of the possible accidents that could catch you by surprise. Because if you don't understand even the risks, how do you even know what could possibly happen? By understanding the risks, you can avoid getting caught by surprise or things that happen that just catches others by total surprise and they have no idea what to do because they didn't even know the risks of what they were doing. So understand the risks of everything you're getting ready to do. I got this drill on my hand. It could slip and I could cut my finger real bad. I could drill a hole through my hand. I could twist my wrist. Many things that could possibly happen if we don't make sure of what's happening there. So how does that do with our job site? What does that have to do with that? This is also going to help you on a job to avoid many of the accidents that, again, catch other people by surprise. I find it very amazing that in all my time in construction, that I've rarely seen an accident that is no fault of their own. After the investigation, they always seem to find an actual cause, and it was by somebody not taking a certain step or doing something or not following some safety rule. So understanding the risks, in our daily lives, this is going to help you a lot in making those hard and tough decisions. When you come to that fork in the road and you're not sure which way to go, well, we can't take both roads, but one of the roads, it may mean tough times ahead. The other road, it may be tough times, but it may also lead to success once I get through those tough times. You see, right up front, everything looks like it's hard. So you might want to just stay where you're at. But that's not always what you want to do. So which one do you take? Well, I always tell people the first thing you want to do is start by listing the risks and seeing whether they are real or not for your life. Wow, something we don't think about. You see, money is not always the issue. You don't always want to take a job just because they're going to pay a couple dollars more. Because what if they're going to pay you a whole lot more money, but you're away from your family? Is it worth the risk? It's not always security either, because sometimes just by staying a job that gives you that false sense of security, that'll keep you in bondage. So make a list and take it to someone that you know that is very wise to you or has more wisdom than you. And don't ever feel like that you have to do it alone, because you actually may be too emotionally attached to really understand what the risk is. So it's very important that we understand the risks for our careers or your success. All right, my final point, point 3, and this is a big one. Throughout the day, no matter what you're doing, where you're at, you always want to have an escape plan. This one's very critical. This is like your ultimate safety guide. Who's responsible for your safety? Is it your safety guy? Is it your foreman? Is it a person in charge of you? No, you are. Always have an escape plan. You see, I travel on the roads throughout the day. I go back and forth to work just like you do, and I go from job to job. And a lot of times I'm walking around the job site. I'm always looking around. It goes back to my first plan. I'm always trying to be alert. And I'm always looking for an escape plan. Now, maybe I develop this a little bit differently than some others from when I ride my motorcycle and I go out. Because I'm going to tell you something. You go out on your bike and it just seems like everybody's just trying to hit you. So I always try to make sure I can move to the left, to the right, I can move to the back, or I have to go forward. I've always got a way to go, and I do that when I'm walking. I do it when I'm out by myself. I'm walking in a bad neighborhood. I'm doing it when I'm with my wife. I'm always looking around, you know? So I'm always trying to make sure I have an escape plan in case something happens. Because you never know. You know, you always want to make sure that there's room to get out of the way if something happens. I try very hard not to make myself get boxed in. And, there are times there's no way. But even then, I understand my way to get out just in case something happens. So I always have a way out so that I can react quickly to save myself from possible injury when something happens. Should always have an escape plan. Which way are you going to go if something happens? Do you have a way to go? Or are you going to run right into the danger? If you don't have an escape plan, you have no idea what's going to happen, and you're just going to go into panic mode. So it's always thinking about these things. You don't want to panic. So again, things change in a blink of an eye, so you never know when you're going to have to move. And so if you have to think about it, well, you might be toast. But if you just react and you do it, it could save your life. And that also has to do with having an escape plan for your life. You see, you never know what happens in your life. You ever had that devastating time when you were called in the office thinking you were going to get a raise and only to find out, hey, my friend, I'm going to have to lay you off. Times are tight. No money. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God. I thought we were doing great. I had the time when I think I've shared it before. Thanksgiving Day, 2 little kids at home. Actually, it was a week before Thanksgiving, working my tail off up in the cold, up in Chicago. Me and about 6 other guys. It was fantastic. Tons of work going on. At least that's what we're told. And all of a sudden, they give us a mail envelope. We're all excited, thinking it's our bonus. Well, he drove off, and it was our, 1 week severance pay right for Christmas. Wow. Woohoo. What do I tell my kids? Santa Claus ain't coming this year? Absolutely not. My wife and I had a plan. Might not have been the best of plans. We were young. We didn't know a whole lot better. But either or, we had a plan. And we just trusted in the good Lord. And we took it one day at a time, said a few prayers, got ourselves back together, and we made it happen. Always have a plan. Have an escape plan. You see, life's not perfect. You can't just count on someone else to do things for you. You can't just say, well, I'm going to rely on my job to take care of me. You can't just say, well, I'm going to rely on my mom and dad to take care of me. Life is funny. Your mom and dad's not going to be around forever, my friends. It's granted. Somewhere down the road, you're not going to have your mom and dad. And so you're going to have to get on your own. Somewhere down along the road, you're going to have to make decisions for yourself. Don't allow other people to create your escape plan. You may have to, figure out a plan of, okay, hey, I have some valuable skills. Maybe you want to go into business for yourself. What are you good at? Maybe you can take a hobby that you enjoy doing, and you might be able to increase your skills and make some money at it. You never know. Maybe that's going to become your new plan. All of us are different. And our escape plans may all be different in life. So what is your escape plan? So remember, the 3 points. It has to do with safety. It has to do with life. Understanding the risks. Have an escape plan. And make sure you're being alert. Well, my friends, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And I hope that it's just gives that little bit of spark in life. That's what these weekly podcasts are about, is to keep you motivated so that you can keep surging forward. I look forward to your comments. And hey, I would really love, my wife is really getting into me now, and she's helping me out a lot in the business, and she's learning about that crazy thing with Google and SEO and all this fun stuff that they do that I really don't have any idea. But she is finding out that, sharing the podcast, um, leave me a review on iTunes. I don't think I have any of the reviews on iTunes at all, but yet I know there's people listening to this podcast because I'm getting anywhere from 100 to 150 downloads a week. So unless there's a few of you that just really like me a whole lot and you're just downloading a ton of my podcasts, hey, I appreciate making me look good. But I appreciate all of you that are listening out there. But, leave me a review, share it. I love it if you didn't leave a negative review. If you have a negative review, don't leave one at all. But no, I'm just kidding. I can take the constructive criticism. I would love to hear that also. But again, feel free to drop me an email. For those of you that don't want your name out there, hey, I fully understand that. Keep those emails coming. DM me on whatever that word is, a direct message, I guess they call it, on Facebook. Go ahead and DM me on that, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. And again, I am doing, we've had a few of them scheduled. I've got a couple more scheduled. I'm really booked up until probably pushing into about April now, the end of April. So if you want to get on the schedule, give me a shout. But I am doing one-on-one coaching with a few guys. So my schedule is booking up for that. If you need one-on-one coaching for passing your journeyman's test for electrical, even though we do the code update courses for HVAC and plumbing and fuel and all that good stuff also, at this point, the only one I'm coaching right now, if it's a life coach that you need, I can work something out with you on that also. But if you're trying to pass the NEC code exam, and I can set up and do some one-on-one coaching with you, and I cater it to what you have, not just a generic, flashcard memorization thing and all of that. Those are great, generic, but we all know one thing doesn't fit all. So the first half hour is free, my friends, and then we'll talk about the charges for afterwards. It's, $95 to $125 an hour, but I work it out with you. So, and give me a shot if you're interested in that. So, fantastic. I am about out of time, but I want to thank you again for taking the time. And I look forward to a lot of the emails that, again, I always get after these podcasts. And again, thanks for Ashley. What a great inspiration for women in the trades. And I want to thank all of you for your hard work. And go out there and thank a tradesman today. That's our new campaign. Proud to be a tradesman. So, hey, my friends, keep working safe. Remember the 3 points for success in your career. And until next week, stay safe and keep surging forward. Have a good one, my friends. God bless, and we will be talking soon. Keep up the good work. All right, bye-bye.